kind of friend. Hey. Baby, I could never steal you from another. It's such a shame our friendship had to end. Purple rain, purple rain. Purple rain, purple rain.
Luis Rojas, Edilberto Madrigal,
Purple rain,
Mirna Rodríguez, Jennifer Saltierra, Carlos Correa,
it's time to reach out to something.
Local board members by
Mr. Chair, Judge Torok is here today, and she's going to let us know how the oath of office is going to take place.
Good morning. There are three sets of three groups that need to be sworn. So I believe that it's okay to do it in groups, and then you will have a form to sign individually. So you will not have to say your name when we do the swearing in. I do it by parts so you don't get confused and have to memorize. So are you coming?
so you need
Let me start with, the first will be oath of office for Somerton PSPRS local board, Luis Rojas, Heriberto Madrigal, and Carlos Correa.
Officer Madrigal should be also. Officer Madrigal, are you listening?
Yes, I can listen you, but there's like a little background and it's hard to hear.
Okay, Judge Torok is about to conduct the oath of office. If you can please follow up with by repeating after the judge instructions, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
Now, when I say I, you will say your name, each one of you. I. And the person to me.
Officer Madrigal, can you please state your name?
Heriberto Madrigal.
Do raise your right hand, please. Do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the laws of the state of Arizona,
The last state of Arizona. I can hear.
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
I prepare true faith
and defend them against all enemies,
and defendants against all enemies.
foreign and domestic, and that I will faithfully and impartially
And faithfully, impartially
discharge the duties of the office of
discharge the duties of the office of
Somerton PSPRS local board,
Somerton Court,
according to the best of my ability, so help me God.
according to the best of my ability, so help me God.
Please raise your right. I do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support the in the Constitution and laws of the state of Mexico. That I will bear true faith and allegiance and defend them against foreign and domestic. And that I will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of the office of impartially discharge the duties of the office of CORP local board according to the best of my ability, so help me.
You guys did it so good. Oh.
So again, when I say I, you will take face. I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution and laws of the state of Mexico. That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. And defend them against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And that I will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of the office of Somerton PSPRS local board in Somerton CORP local board
CRP.
according to the best of my ability, so help me.
That is ground, look.
I think she said we're.
Yeah, I think so.
Thank you, Your Honor. Yes.
Next item on 3.2, overview of the compensation. Retirement system, boards, their function, and.
Mr. Chair, members of the local boards, at this time, we have Jorge Lozano, our city attorney for these local boards, And Jorge, are you here?
Yes, good morning, Carmen. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, we can. Please, Jorge, go ahead.
Excellent, thank you. And welcome everybody to your new role as voluntary board members. Now, I'm sorry to report to you that this is a voluntary board. I wish there was a law that allowed the city to compensate. Unfortunately, it's a local board, and it doesn't carry any compensation. We're here today because there were some recent changes to how local boards operate. So back in January of 2020, I'm sorry, back in 2021, House Bill 2381 was enacted. And essentially, it was almost a complete overhaul of what the PSPRS boards and local boards had to do. Now, traditionally, here at the city of Somerton, there really has not much activity involving the local boards. And if you think about it, if you think about the size of the city, not many people retire with the city of Somerton. So in order for the local boards to get called upon and to make decisions, we have to have people retiring from either the fire department, the police department, or in some occasions from the dispatchers group. And so many of our members change employment. They go out to the city of Yuma, or they might go out to DPS. Unfortunately, some may get terminated, and in some occasions, people might die in the line of duty. So that being said, it's very rare that local boards here in Somerton convene. So thank you for serving. And the main thing that I want to state to all of you is there are some mandates on the number of meetings that you need to hold, but at the same time, whenever there is an issue about a retirement issue or a member retiring, that's really when you will convene, and those are very rare. So even though you have a new responsibility as a local board member, don't expect too many meetings, okay? Secondly, as board members, there is mandatory training for all new board members. I know some of you, and I see Dora, and maybe some of you came from the board, from the last board prior to January 2022. So any new members after January 2022 must go through the local training. And there's some videos out there that I might send a link to. They're about 45 minutes in length. There's 3 videos. One is about ethics. Another video is about establishing, the open meetings and public records. And the third video is about fiduciary duties. So those are out there. At some point, also in the future, we need to set the rules. And luckily, there are some model rules that will govern, the process and dispute resolutions and things like that. At some point, you as a local board will be asked to adopt the model rules so that we have a procedure in place on handling this. And so essentially, your role as a local board, you will have all the administrative authority over eligibility, disability, retirements, and line of death benefits for members. There are 2 great videos that I want to play. They total 8 minutes in length. And if I think it's best to play those, is if I assign them to you, you might not get to them. So everybody take a deep breath. We're about to watch 2 videos related to your rules and responsibilities as local board members.
Welcome to the second of 3 videos in our series covering House Bill 2381, which makes noteworthy changes to local board, employer, and PSPRS operations. I'm Phil Coleman, PSPRS Employer Relationship Manager. This video covers The new law's impact on training requirements for local board members, notification requirements for local boards, and the voluntary option for local boards to consolidate their operations. These requirements will pertain to public safety and correction local boards and employers. Beginning in 2022, Arizona law will require training for all new local board members and secretaries. This training will cover open meeting law, ethics, legal requirements, and fiduciary responsibilities. New board members and secretaries have 180 days to complete this training. Board members and secretaries already serving on the local boards are also encouraged to undergo training, which will be provided by PSPRS in an online format and, when possible, through live sessions. This training is mandatory for local boards and secretaries appointed or elected on or after January 1, 2022, with PSPRS responsible for tracking the compliance of board members. Let's walk through some of the specifics of the training. HB 2381 requires each local board member to follow Arizona's open meeting laws. This includes public posting of all board notices and agendas, making all board meetings open to the public, and keeping written meeting minutes and records. In addition, PSPRS provided training on this subject. The Arizona Attorney General's Office Open Meeting Law Guidebook is an excellent resource. It's important to note that failure to obey open meeting law can void board decisions. Board members may also face civil penalties and removal from office. Newly mandated ethics training will cover the avoidance of conflict of interest and the appearance of such conflict. It will also explain the prohibitions against accepting gifts of financial value and the need to make appropriate disclosures in the event a board member becomes aware of any unethical or illegal conduct. The new legal training will cover model rules for all board processes and decision-making and the appeals processes that may follow certain board decisions. Training on the fiduciary responsibilities will cover board members' necessity to act on behalf of the members and their beneficiaries at all times. The training will also lay out how to best review plan valuations and financial reports, plus how to understand and measure the financial impact of board determinations. House Bill 2381 also includes new reporting and legal requirements for local boards. Board personnel changes must be reported to PSPRS within 10 days of their occurrence. These reporting requirements include any changes impacting board members, secretaries, and the board's independent legal counsel. These changes can be reported by filling out the local board member and employer information update form, which is available on the PSPRS website. Once completed, this form can be submitted via fax or email. Please note that starting on January 1, 2022, local boards may submit meeting minutes to PSPRS via email. Finally, the new law permits local boards to consolidate through the signing of an intergovernmental agreement crafted by the consolidated boards and impacted employers. PSPRS will work with consolidated local boards to ensure that all elected and appointed members are duly impaneled in a timely manner. Consolidated local boards still must follow all applicable legal statutes, including notification and training requirements and operational requirements as well. These new entities are no different, legally speaking, than the original entities they replace.
Welcome to the fourth video in our series covering House Bill 2381,
I'm sorry,
which
Andrea.
makes noteworthy changes to local board, employer.
Hello, that's video 4. Can you play video 2?
We just played video 2.
Oh yeah, so then there are 3 of 4 right next to that one, right below it.
You want 3?
Yes.
Welcome to the third and final video in our series covering House Bill 2381, which makes noteworthy changes to local board, employer, and PSPRS operations. My name is Phil Coleman, and I'm the Employer Relationship Manager with PSPRS. This video covers the new law's impact on PSPRS oversight of local boards for public safety and corrections employers. These changes, effective in January 2022, are designated to make retirement and benefit application processes more efficient. Carrying out this process and duty requires different roles for PSPRS, employers, and local boards, who work together to ensure that timely, impartial decisions are made on behalf of members, retirees, and survivors. The PSPRS Board of Trustees and, by extension, the agency itself have a fiduciary obligation to all participants in the system. Local boards are responsible for determining member eligibility, applications for disability, and line of duty death benefits. Both work to provide, as written in statute, a uniform, consistent, and equitable statewide retirement system for members and retirees. PSPRS has a fiduciary obligation. This means PSPRS at all times acts in the best interest of the system's members. This duty requires exercising care in decision-making, keeping costs at a reasonable level, and acting in good faith when executing the law. Under existing state law, PSPRS may make decisions to protect the assets of the pension trust under its management. The agency and its trustees cannot honor determinations that violate IRS provisions governing tax-exempt public pensions. Please note that PSPRS is already authorized by law to take action to protect the fund and the proper administration of the fund. Local boards are government entities independent from their corresponding public employers. As such, the new law clarifies that attorneys hired by local boards must be independent of the employer, system members, and other beneficiaries. The new law requires that each local board must at a minimum adopt model uniform rules to govern operations, dispute resolution, and other board duties. These rules will be made available by PSPRS. However, local boards may establish additional provisions for their own operations. The new law authorizes PSPRS to request documentation and records from local boards and employers pertaining to the administration of all public safety, correction officers, and elected officials' retirement plans. This may include records related to eligibility, disability, and line of duty death determinations, member and beneficiary disputes, or complaints against local boards. Please note that this cooperation already occurs in practice. The new law simply clarifies this relationship. Finally, the new law provides PSPRS legal discretion to determine and enforce local board non-compliance with state law and model uniform rules. In the event of a non-compliance finding, PSPRS will work with local boards to ensure corrective action. If the board fails to take corrective action within 60 days of non-compliance finding, PSPRS may assume legal control of all board operations until the matter is resolved.
Okay. I know that was a mouthful and a lot of stuff of information to swallow in just 8 minutes, but essentially, you know, for all new board members, we will require that new training. I'm also going to point out that there is live training available. So I think the statewide local board conference was in March of 2024. So some of you members just missed it. So for the new statewide conference on local boards, I mean, some of you might be eligible to attend that. I'm not sure where the funding will come from. If we do send some members out there to training, we can talk about that later, or maybe I could, you know, talk about or call the PSPRS to see what type of funding opportunities there are to send some of our members out there to the local board training. I know you heard something about civil penalties. I don't want you to be discouraged from participating as a local board member if you're subject to a civil penalty. Again, welcome to the local board. I want to thank you for your service. And as we thread together on these new boards, I want to encourage all of you to give me a call with any questions or comments. That's it for today. Does anybody have any questions regarding local board and what's expected of you?
Any
No.
questions?
Okay.
No, we're good. Thank you, Mr. Lozano.
Thank you.
We'll go to next agenda item, 3.3, discussion and possible action to elect a secretary for each local board as per ARS 38-847M. Carmen?
Mr. Lozano, will you be presenting this item or you want me to just guide the local board through the selection of the secretary for each of the boards?
Yeah, so like any other entity, I'm mostly here for on-the-spot counsel. So whoever the chairman is or his designee can go ahead and present the items.
Before we move into the election, I would like to point out that the secretary for each of the board will have some additional responsibilities aside from the ones that you just read or just watch on the videos. The secretary for this board will have to be essentially what Andrea's doing today. Every time that the boards meet, they will have to put the agenda together, publicize it, send it to the chairman, making sure that the room is reserved, that we have all the information during the agenda, during the meeting, a roll call, all the items that the secretary will be doing. That's the portion that the secretary will be doing in addition to the other guidelines. So
And Carmen, really quick, I just want to point, I think, there will be some support from staff if
Yes.
need to be.
yes, actually, we have two members of staff here, aside from the city manager. Jennifer is here from HR and Mirna Rodriguez from Public Works. If the members that are going to do the election will feel that it's easier to manage, the election will have to be, the appointment and election will have to be for the staff members, but it's entirely up to you. If we can start with each separate, because we have to have a secretary for each separate board. So if we can do.
Carmen,
Carmen?
Carmen, just
Go ahead,
let me
Jorge.
say something just for you who might not want to be secretary. The new rules also call for for an IGA to establish a consolidated board. I think we need to look into that at a future date to just essentially have a consolidated board for all three entities, and essentially we end up with one secretary rather than three. But that's for a future item to consider. And for now, just remember, if you get selected as secretary, at some point in the future, your role might be delegated to someone else.
So can we actually do
Election.
an election for one secretary to serve as of right now?
It'll be one secretary per board because we
now.
have 3 boards.
All right. Well, if you like, I mean, I'd open it up for nominations again, just to remind the board members, someone on the board can, be the secretary, or we can appoint staff, if that's correct. So I just need a motion, or if someone would.
I don't think we can vote right now. I think we're just,
Can we
I
vote?
don't think we can vote.
Yes, right now, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying
Yeah,
to select
yeah.
the secretary for each
I
board.
think we're
So
all official now.
right
so-
now, fire department, for example,
So-
you need to, fire department,
So who would we go first with, Carmen?
fire department,
okay. So who can vote for
The
fire?
members on the board of fire department is Chairperson Luis Galaviz. We have Carlos Correa, Clemente Ballesteros, Mirna Rodriguez, and Jennifer Valtierra. So out of those five, you may do the selection of your secretary.
Do I hear a motion?
Nominate somebody?
Yes.
Okay, hold on, Louis, before the motion. and
Okay.
I see that some members overlap all three boards, so the secretary could be one person for all three boards as well.
Thank you for that
Perfect.
clarification.
That'll make it easy.
Okay. So,
So for fire, I would nominate Mirna Rodriguez.
okay, so we have a nomination. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Congratulations, Mina.
So the next,
That was,
Nominated.
Mr. Correa,
correct.
Chairman.
Carlos Correa.
So now for police department, the chairperson is Mr. Galaviz. We have Luis Rojas, Heriberto Madrigal, Mirna Rodriguez, and Jennifer Valtierra.
Okay, so I'll make a motion to appoint Mina Rodriguez. All in favor?
Aye.
Oh, I'm sorry, we need a second.
Second, Madrigal.
Yeah. That's why I didn't say second, because there's only one more, but,
And Mr. Rojas.
and Mr. Rojas, yes. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, congratulations. Any opposed? Can't say anything, Mina.
And the last one will be for dispatch. Right now, we don't have Rosie Santana today with us, but we have Mr. Luis Galaviz, we have Dora Ballesteros, Mirna Rodriguez, and Jennifer Valtierra.
Is there a motion for a secretary? There's a motion, I'll second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations, Vina. Very popular today.
Popular.
We have a secretary now for this. And that concludes all the items on the agenda, Mr. Chair.
All right, well, I just, again, before I adjourn, I just want to say thank you very much for all of you being here and taking the oath, and thank you, Mina, and the rest of the staff for helping out with this, and Carmen for putting this together. And we hope that this will be a benefit to the city and, you know, supporting the public safety. So thank you again for your support. So meeting adjourned.
10:35.
I second.